Yes, we have 11 more minutes and a lot can be done. We can have 11 callers in 11 minutes if everyone sticks to the 1 minute per call rule.
Okay.
Um, Real quick before we go into today's main topic,
Yeah.
like we were saying, I personally do not believe there's anything wrong in a lady living close to where she works instead of having to live with her parents because that is what society demands. That's my personal opinion. I will not put my daughters through the grief of having to commute from Ikeja to Aja if they're working in Aja when they can live in Lekki or in Aja. Why do you have to? I know people who live in Ikorodu and work in VI, and
What?
then sometimes they have to use boat to be crossing at 6 a.m. in the morning, boat, and then rain starts and the river is up. You know, makes no sense. So, look, let's stop lying to ourselves. Hypocrisy is one thing that has destroyed Africa. Many people believe that if you live in your parents' house, you'll be more responsible. Person that wants to be responsible if they live under a
True.
bridge. And
True
person that
that.
wants to be irresponsible will be irresponsible in a convent.
That's so true.
Irresponsibility has literally nothing to do with where you live and everything to do with who you are. So now the main topic for today, why we gathered everybody uh, here is in a relationship, when a guy gives you gifts, for instance, if I'm dating Ada and I buy Ada a car, should I take my car back if we broke up? Ada, what's your take? Should I take my car back? If I'm dating Ada and I broke up with her, should I take my car back from Ada?
Um, no, I
Because
don't
it's you.
think so.
Okay, what if it was you that bought me a car, Ada? What if you were the one doing better than me? Let's imagine you're earning 800,000 naira a month and I'm earning 200,000 naira a month. And we break up and you bought me a car. Say, I'd been telling you, I like this car, or I really want to buy it. It's 2.5 million naira, maybe a Camry or something like that. And you bought it for me. Because hey, you had 2.5 million naira lying in your account that you were not doing anything with, and it was my birthday, so you just decided, you know what, let me buy this guy a car. If you are breaking up with me, will you take the car back?
Quite a tough one, but I'm going to be honest. No, I am not.
Why
Why?
is it a tough one? Why was it so easy for you to just not give the car back if it was the guy who bought it for you, but it's a tough one for you to allow the guy to go with your car if you're the one that bought it for him?
Well, if I have the excess money, I wouldn't see it as a problem. Like, if I had the money. But then emptying my account, buying something for you, and then the relationship hits the rock, of course I'm going
One
to feel
mumu,
bad.
where they here,
But
where they
not
call
going to take the gift
Beef
back?
King's
Nah, I'm not
Zlatan.
going to do that. Why
If you
then?
see us, it be like
Why
God
choose
forbid.
something?
You dey here, they talk
It's
nonsense.
off.
Oh yeah, yeah, come and be
It's
going, come and be
off.
going.
Like, I don't
My
see it
life
as
is
my
not for
possession anymore. It's
low
now
IQ
yours.
he
And
goats.
something like a car.
Let me block you.
If I'm getting you a car, I'm going to write your name as the owner. So what do I do?
There's a
Oh, fine.
trick.
Then I
There's a
pay for
trick
it.
many guys do these days.
I know.
When they buy a car, for instance, Ada,
Mhm.
I know your salary.
Mhm.
I now buy you an 8 million naira car.
Yeah.
I buy it in your name, but guess what? You have to pay
What?
monthly for it. So every month on the 16th, I just pay, every month you have to pay 200k for the car. So you can pay off the loan in 4 years. So every month, I just pay the 200k into your account on the 20th, for instance, so that by the 26th, they take their money. So I just put a reminder on my account. You know, I used to do that a lot when I had a lot of people I was dashing money. every month on a certain day, I'll just list out the number of people. So once it gets to that day, I'll just see bank deductions in my account. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So what guys do these days is they'll just they'll buy the car, but instead of giving you the whole car, they'll
Okay,
put you
Daddy,
on a.
please. While we talk about that, let's
Yes.
quickly pay some bills and then
Are
when
we
we
still
get back.
paying bills at this time of the night?
Yes, we are. And we have just 6 more minutes.
Of which you are paying bills. Please remove the bills from the 6 minutes. So here's what guys do. Like I was trying to explain to Ada, especially abroad. Instead of them buying you the car, they put down the down payment and then pay the monthly installments through your account. Any day they break up, they just stop the installments. So you that you are earning 300k a month, can you afford to pay 200k for a car? That's how the bank will come and repo the car.
Hi, welcome back to 9.3 Nigeria Info. So, Daddy, please.
Yes, I was trying to explain something to you. I said what people do these days is instead of buying you a car of 8 million, they go to a bank and they finance an 8 million naira car. Maybe they pay 3 million and then they agree that they are going to pay 200,000 every month for the next 3 years. 200,000 a month is about 2.4 million a year times 3. That is 7.2. Yeah, so thereabout. So 200k a month. So you're just driving the car and dating the guy, and your salary is 300k a month. Then all of a sudden, one day you break up with the guy. Now, if I've broken up with you, I want to ask you, am I still going to be paying for your car?
Of course, no. No.
Yes or no? At least while we're dating, let's imagine I've paid for 2 years. There's now 1 year left.
Yeah.
It will take a very gentle gentleman, not just ordinary gentleman, a gentle gentleman that will now say, you know what, since I love this girl so much, even though we're breaking up, let me just pay off the loan and let her have the car.
I am not that gentle. I'm going to stop payments. I'm not. But taking the car back, no, far from it.
Yeah, but you see, that way you're not taking the car back, but you know a girl that's earning 300k a month cannot afford to pay 200k a month for another 1.5 years. Doesn't she have parents? Doesn't she want to buy hair? Then
she's going to choose what to forfeit. The car.
Then guess what? After the 3 years, the car is really worth how much? So it's a bad place. The guy just set you up. I've seen guys do it to girls well. Especially those girls that like to drive range. They'll just buy you range. Do you understand? And be paying 2 million naira a month for it. Instead of buying it outrightly for 40 million. They'll just put maybe 15 million down and be paying 2.5 million every month for you. So the day you break up like this, you'll just cut the funding. And your own salary is 500k a month. Where do you want to see 2.5 million? If you go and sleep with 5 guys together every single month, you'll not be able to gather that money. So the car company just comes to carry their range.
Apply for a loan and clear it up.
In this Nigeria, you are talking like you live in Chicago. What are you going to use to apply? Your mother's kidney?
Wow.
What are you going to use? What's the collateral? You that did not have collateral to buy a car in the first place. Let me tell you, somebody that went to get you a 40 million naira loan is somebody who is very familiar with the bank. For them to even transfer it to your name so that the money is not in the car is not in his name. Guys do it now. They just miss 3 payments. Guys who buy the car in their name, they'll miss 3 payments. The bank, you know how good bank is at repossessing? Bank will find you. If you're wrong with bank money, Oh my God, that's where you know that Nigerian police is working. As if you relocate to heaven, person go just drink sniper, come find you for that heaven, carry you come back the earth first. You go return their motor first before you go the heaven.
Anyway, we have less than a minute.
So let's take a couple of phone calls. 2 phone calls. We
What?
can squeeze 2 phone calls in.
No.
Oh yeah. Let's do this,
Just
guys.
one.
We can make all
Hello.
right. Do you take gifts back when you buy gifts for people?
Yes, hello. Good evening, Mr. Austin.
99.3 Nigeria
You have
info.
30
We are
seconds.
live.
Okay. So what is based on what that is? If it happened to me that way,
Mm-hmm.
which just narrated,
Yeah.
how if I had one effort, I would kill them.
Really? You think so?
I would kill it.
Wow.
Emotional control. But if I don't have, I'll just leave her and take them. But if I know that more is so difficult to have to pay the money, I'll kill the money and make the hand go.
Wow, that's so nice.
I'm conscious.
Come date me. Okay. Alright, thank you so much. Thanks for listening and thanks for being part of the show. So Daddy Freeze.
You
thank
see,
you so much.
I have
Ready for
never,
next
I'm going to say this publicly, I have never taken anything that I bought for a
lady.
woman back. And it's not because I don't buy many things for women. Let's not even go there. But I remember when my first marriage packed up,
Okay.
I never asked my ex-wife for any of the things I got for her. I got her a brand new car. She left with it. I did not even consider it. This was it's long ago. Maybe my memory is fuzzy, but I don't remember making an issue of, hey, give me my car back. I don't remember, you know. And the gifts she got me, I don't remember her. We had issues with other things. I don't remember if it was clear cut. This is my stuff. This is your stuff. I think that was the easiest thing we're able to sort out with lawyers. This is your stuff. This is my stuff. I think it was easy. We didn't argue much over material things. We argued over a lot of other things, but material things were able to say, okay, that's your own stuff. It was easier.
Okay.
Because there are some men that you are leaving their house, even the things you bought while you were married to them, they will want to collect it from you. I've heard men say, oh, there's some very backward men in this country. They will tell you that, when you married them, what did you get? What did you have? I married you as a youth copper.
Sure.
Anything you got in my house, it belongs to me. Oh, I've heard. So here's my advice to
okay.
Here's my advice to people. You know what? Should we go on a break and come back so I can give them my advice?
Yeah, it's fine. Let's go on a break. We'll come back tomorrow.
Which tomorrow? you know. So here's the gist of it at the end of the day. Be a gentleman. Now, a lot of guys buy women things just to impress. You can't really afford it, but you just want to show. It's like when you're going into the Gucci store, but really what you can afford is Gap. But you just want to go into the Gucci store so they can see that you are shopping Gucci and you're coming out with Gucci nylon bag. But really, you can't live with one pair of Gucci slippers when you enter Gap, and with the one Gucci slippers you can buy 2 shoes that you can be managing. You understand? Or you buy one Gucci shoe and one Gucci slippers. Meanwhile, in Gap, you buy enough footwear. So you're really a Gap guy, but you're acting Gucci. There are many guys like that out there. Someone said there's nothing like backward men. Oh, there is a lot of backward men out there. There's a lot. When you break up with a woman, when the marriage ends, some men will frustrate the woman and want her to be poor. I never wanted my ex to be poor. Never. Why do I want her to be poor? So that if she's poor and jobless, what does that mean? It means I become her. She'll be waking up and cursing me every morning.
Suppose. True.
Do you understand? She'll be
Oh,
waking
Daddy,
up and looking
please.
for me with gun. Hold on, Ada. This thing is not
You know,
showing. Where are you running
Dad,
to?
I'm running to the chat station family members. I want to meet them.
All right, all right, all right. Run off to the chat station. We'll be back with the same topic tomorrow. We'll continue with it. Guys, make sure you join us. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Don't mind me. I'm just looking for Ada's trouble. Ada's been a great sport.
Again by tomorrow. I'll meet you again.
Yes. Take care.
All right, Daddy, please. Good night.
Rufus said you become her office. Absolutely. She go open office for your head. Because if she doesn't have work, she now has time to vent her anger. And let me tell you, it's not everybody that handles breakups well. So one thing you want your woman to do when you're breaking up with her is for her to be okay. Now here's me. If I break up with you, I ain't gonna pay none of your bills. None. I'm not gonna pay your rent even if my kids live with you. If you can't take care of my kids, bring them to me. As long as you can take care of my kids, you will pay your rent. We'll discuss feeding, we'll discuss education, no problem. But I will not pay your rent because of the excuse. In some women abroad, they do it. If you break up with a woman abroad, you will pay her rent. Me, I will not pay your rent. Unless you are really nice to me and you appeal to me really nicely and you make me see reason. You know, there's some women in relationships that will come and meet you and say, you know what, we're done, we're over, blah, 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 blah. But I need your help. It will make a lot of sense for the kids to live with me. And my rent is 3 million naira a year. Can you pay it? If the guy thinks and says no, okay, how much can you afford? I can afford 1.8. Can you please make it 2 million? You know, these are your kids, blah, 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 blah. You get the way she go talk. But when the woman believes that you are going to pay her rent because your children live with her, that's when I will show you my house has 5 bedrooms. If you don't have house for the children, let them stay. They have enough bedroom. My house has enough bedrooms. So why am I paying for another house? Because the kids, if you want the kids to live with you, you should be able to afford to take care of kids. That I will not do. The car I bought, if I bought a car for you 1 week before we broke up, that car is yours. But I will not change it after 3 years. I will not change your car. I don't owe you anything again. And if I'm earning 500,000 a month and you are earning 500,000 a month, we will split the school fees. Because I also want to move on with my life. You want to move on with your life. I'll now be paying the school fees. So you now have enough money to be looking good and be partying and while me I'll be struggling. No. And let me tell you guys something. Let me warn you guys, yeah. Judgment I got for my divorce requires me to pay my children's school fees up until university. Do you know why? Because I was the only one paying it. This lesson for you men, don't pay school fees alone. Make sure your wife contributes to it just in case there is a divorce. Because if you can show that you were able to pay it then, the judge will say you should continue to pay it. So the judge, unless you can prove that you are jobless, and it's not going, even if you are totally jobless, they will still give you bail. So learn it. If you know that you are not that well to do, don't rob I used to do it. Was a big mistake I made. I should have. And there were times when my ex would sit down with me and say, look, we're changing the children's school. Do you want me to help? And I'll say, no, don't worry, I'll take it. School fees is a man's job. No. Make sure if all she can contribute is 20% to it, make sure she contributes that 20%. Because if you ever divorce and you've been paying 100%, you will continue paying that 100%. And if your finances are not what they used to be, you will still be mandated, so you will struggle with it. And then if she now gets a better job, this is not Nigeria where they review things. If she now gets a better job and she's earning $1 million a year, a month, and you, for instance, you were earning 250K a month and you were paying the school fees, and then you, like during the recession or COVID, you were now downgraded to 200K, the law still requires that you continue that bill. So try as much as possible. Another idea is, for school fees, open a joint account and make sure the two of you put your salaries there, or a chunk of your salary meant for school fees, so you can show them that, please, we used to pay school for children together. Then the judge can now sit down and say, okay, since you were paying for the school fee together, okay, the man carry 60%, you, the woman, carry 40%. Think about all these things. I'm giving you advice. Anything can happen in the future. You can become poorer, and your ex can become richer. And not many exes are reasonable. Some are very reasonable. Some will say, okay, you know what, even though the judge said you should pay the school fees of the child, since you don't have the money, I'm gonna pay. Or, you know what, how much do you have out of the 250K? Some women will say that 250K, you will burn all of it, you will not have any money to remarry. So you now live the rest of your life in slavery. Another thing is, don't put children in schools that you cannot afford, because you want, listen, divorces happen. You don't want to be stuck in a bad, let me tell you, some people are stuck in bad marriages. Their wives are cheating on them, or their husbands are cheating on them, or their husbands are cheating, but they can't leave because they have gone to bite more than they can chew. So they have to chew the big bites that they took together, because that's the only way. So you'll be inside the cheating, and it's torment. Let me tell you something. Women will tell you about equality until it's time for the bills. I learned it the hard way. The only woman that has ever worked with me that, okay, these are your bills, these are my bills, is taste buds. Before, now me they carry bill. Now me they carry 100% or 95% of the bill. What is 95? 98% of the bill. And it's not healthy. Don't do it. I will tell you today, free of charge. Don't enter a relationship where you will carry more than 60 to 70% of the bill. Let there be contribute. You people are partners. The woman wants equality. You talk to her, you tell you that I'm your equal, I'm not your servant. Show me that you're my equal. This is school fees of 3 million. How much are you bringing to the table? Olori Foster said, I left everything in my first marriage. All I had is my shoulder, and I carried it proudly. Now, if you live abroad, you also have to learn abroad too. When you are abroad, marriages are faster to break up than Nigerian marriages. Nigerian marriage, they will still consider village elders, they will still consider villagers, they will still consider witches and wizards, they will still consider all sorts of marine spirits that so they will want to manage and patch the marriage together. However, so if you are in an abroad marriage, don't set yourself up. There are people who are depressed because their wives left them and left them with the bill. Don't go and buy a house that is too, because now your wife go live inside though. Use church mind, they follow your wife. Use church mind. Some people will join together forces with their wives and go and buy a mansion. Baba, as long as you could afford it then, you will continue to afford it. You have to show considerable loss of revenue. before you can tell a judge abroad that you can't afford the life you were giving your children before. Think. You are not a woman's slave. You are not your children's slave. Think. Don't give yourself high jump. You will be living in a BQ and be paying bills for a mansion. Don't be a lunatic. Cut it well. Cut it well. I know marriage, they say, is for better, for worse. These days, with what I have seen, it's not for better or for worse. So, for better, for worse, now inside book, we they read them as fairy tale and they lived happily ever after. What if they didn't live happily ever after? What if Beauty and the Beast started quarreling? What if the Beast cheated on Beauty? Think about it. Or what if the Beast just decided that he's no longer a beast now? He can find any girl he likes. He doesn't even like this Beauty again. He wants to marry Beautiful. You as Beauty, what do you do? So you've got to guard yourself. Think. Don't set yourself up. Okay, what if you really love this woman? You are planning to, and the woman says she's not doing again. Are you going to kill her? Are you going to become a stalker in her life? Are you going to become a marine spirit in her life, and you're going to disturb her for the rest of her days? Do everything with sense. And I warn men don't understand this. Take care of yourselves when you are young. Your children will take care of their mother. Hardly, just think about how many times have you heard of children buying their father car? It is usually their mother. Just think about it. They will buy their mother things. I've seen men in old age depressed because before their father will get 5, their mother will have gotten 30. And if they're in a relationship where the mother and the father are not, they don't have understanding in such a way that the mother is covering up for the father and saying, you know what, whatever you give me and your daddy. Some women don't say that. They'll just colobi everything to their side. Then the woman will be bawling and rejoicing and enjoying. And the old man, let me give you an example. My former marriage, I was the one paying school fees. But children don't know you are paying school fees. School fees is it goes to the school. They don't see it. It's not like when you finish paying school fees, you go and meet them and say, hey, I paid your school fees. But guess what? Their mom takes them to KFC. Their mom takes them to watch movies. Their mom takes them to buy ice cream. Their mom takes them to shop for their clothes. They see that. So they, in their small minds, believe, oh, their mom loves them. Their mom is doing this. And when they grow up, they will most of the time not remember the big bills. How much do you, when school fees bills can be 5 million a year, how much do you want to spend on ice cream? You feel lick 100k ice cream in a year, you feel lick and finish. Make Jedi no carry you go. So take care of yourself. Buy yourself that watch that you like. Buy yourself that car that you like. Your kids will be fine. Don't live a life of regrets. I'm not saying don't take care of your children. But some people will take care of their children to the expense where they don't have anything for themselves. Then in old age, they will not enter depression. And let me tell you, in old age, you cannot marry again. You are old and you still have the old bills that you went to set yourself up for. And then many men will follow their women around like handbag because they took wrong decisions. And your children are going to grow and become these wonderful people that love their mothers. And remember, we have our dad. Our dad is there, yeah. Our dad is cool. But hey, mom, all right, you could have this Piaget. You see people buying cars for their moms. You see them, all your celebrities on social media. My mom, I love my mom so much. My mom is like, your mom went and did artificial insemination. How your mama take get your belly? No be person. The person will give her the belly. You go not cut that one out. Hey, my mom. Don't you listen to the songs? Mommy, I love you. Mommy, this. How many people sing for their father? Maybe 1 or 2 father songs, like 8 mother songs. So you've got to be very careful. When we were growing up, when our parents were growing up, they were assets because their fathers will have farms. I'm talking about my grandparents now when they were kids. Their fathers have farms. All of you, they will give you one portion. Children were useful. When our parents started growing up, before, this is the parent. This is how useful a child is. Throughout, you are useful to your parents. From when they gave birth to you, we wash, clean, do everything, be entirely useful. Then during our parents' time, the usefulness of a child reduced a bit. They were still useful on the farm, but they now had to go to school, and then you had to invest in. Those days, you didn't invest much in them. As they don't begin, they run like this. You don't give them cutlass. So yeah, hey, go and cut to that place. Now your portion with that. I must bring home the cassava. But my father said they now had to start going to school, so they had to start bringing out money. So instead of the children being full assets from the day they are useful, they started reducing small liability because you have to invest money, and then the assets, of course, they're going to gain at the end of the day. During our time, it reduced. It was now a balance, asset and liability. Parents had to pay school fees, but we would wash car, wash clothes, do everything, be useful. So it was a bit of a balance. Now, liability 90% until they become useful for themselves. You just have these children and you worship them, especially abroad. You go call where are you going? I'm taking my kid for a soccer. Your children don't know the way where they play football. Now you got to drive them go soccer. And if you don't drive them in that abroad, it's bad parenting. So your children become these deities that you worship. You run around for them from morning till night. I used to look at my friends that are abroad. I'm like, wow, this is what you guys do for your kids. So what do you do for yourself? From morning until night, you're running around, putting your children there, spending days. Calm down. Your children have now become full liabilities, and sometimes you don't even reap. You just invest in them. All Nigeria is the worst, especially if you live on the island and you put them in an island school where there are some schools where you pay 3 million naira a term. What benefit are you getting from that child that you are spending 9 million a year? Is it clothes they are ironing for you? Because most of those children, they have so much homework, you end up doing the homework. There was a time I had to call my transfer. I'm like, come. Are you okay? I have a full-time job. Why are you giving my children this kind of homework that you know I'm the one that's going to do? I said, no, I'm not doing it. If their mother wants to do it, let her do it. I ain't going to do this. So which time am I going to work? Which time am I going to do my own research? Or I'll finish doing all that. Instead of me sleeping, I'm now doing somebody's homework. Okay, hello, calm down. I remember my father doing homework with me once or twice. I remember my mother doing homework with me a bit more often. But it's not like today. It's they've made children. And let me tell you something. I wrote a statement the other day on social media. I said, my children's school wrote me a letter and said, dear parents, I'm not your parents. Which dear parents? I'm your customer. Do you know how much I spend in your establishment? Address me, dear esteemed customer. Stop lying to me. I'm not your parent. Your parents are wherever you kept them. I am your customer. Now money will they pay. Do you know how much money you pay for children's school? Let me tell you, I was telling somebody, saying, no, that even our parents, I went to one of the best schools growing up. They did not use money of car. My entire school fees from the day I started till the day I finished cannot buy a Tokumbo car. Meanwhile, in Nigeria, every year, the school fees will buy you one car. Think about it. You put your child in a school on the island, every year, the school fees will buy one car. There are some schools that every year, the school fees will buy you a good car. Brand new self every year. They don't use brand new car money train us. And we didn't end up bad. Of course, when a child is done, I'm saying educate them well, but not to the point where you are struggling. And then if your child is brilliant, if your child is academically inclined, if your child no one read book, no send them go Harvard because you get the money. Now nonsense. Pikin we want paint, make it go paint. The one we want do fashion, make it do fashion. The one we want do business, send them to Harvard. If you ready do the book, if you not ready do the book, make it go learn from Igbo man. Dangote no go Harvard now, and it's a bit this business, it's a bit do the karakata. So I see it. So guys, when you're in relationships, sit down and think things through. Modern day slavery is you will live in a big house. You are no longer on a plantation. You will live in a nice big house and you are still a slave. You are a slave to the system. So here's my advice, guys. Sit down and think things through. Don't do anything to impress anybody. That school you are putting your children inside, can you afford it? If you had a financial dip, would you still be able to pay that school fees? If you cannot, move them to the school that you can afford. Some people struggle. I know, let me tell you a story here. There was a woman who moved her kids abroad. After the 3rd year, she now lost her job. 2 kids. Then she did not pay school fees for a term or so. Abroad school sued her to court. Money that she did not have, she was entering an aeroplane to go and do court case abroad. When they were now telling me the story, my question was, you know you cannot afford this. Why set yourself up? Then now you then go see for front of church. Oh, I receive it. I receive it. Father Lord. Father Lord. Father Lord is not a magician. Then where you are doing the Father Lord, somebody will call you and sleep with you and give you money and you say, oh, it is God. God does not encourage prostitution. Or then you go and steal government money and then you come and pay tithe so you can pay the expensive life you set yourself up, and then you say God is blessed. They say, how were you able to manage to send your children abroad? Oh, God did it. God is not a thief, he's not a looter. God's motto is not a looter continua. God does not loot government treasuries. Let's be telling ourselves the truth. So I'm ending on this note. Wait till you know fit, you know what. Now there's stretching yourself. Like for instance, if you are, let's say you are 11, you can stretch yourself to 13. But if you are 11, once you start stretching yourself to 15 to 20, just know that you are overstretching your elasticity limit goes soon cut to. If you are 11, you'll be comfortably doing 9. Yoruba people say, "Ẹni tí ò tọ́lá déjì tó ń pe rẹ̀ lọ́lá dẹ̀jọ." Oladeji means wealth becomes 2. Oladejo means wealth becomes 8. They say you will no reach Oladeji. You never reach wealth becomes 2. But you are calling yourself Oladejo. Wealth becomes 8. What does that minister to you? You are not up to 2, but you are striving to be 8. Now set yourself up. Only you 9 be the witches and wizards where they do you. You are the Ogun Afowofa of your life. You know what Ogun Afowofa is? Afowofa, use your hand to pull. You are the creator of your problem, the architect of your own nemesis. So you will be in church when other people are sleeping. You will be in church when other people are working, because there is no natural solution for your problem, because you have created a monster You have unleashed a kraken upon yourself, and that kraken is wreaking havoc upon you simply because you have gone to consistently bite more than you can chew because you are listening to one motivational speaker or the other. I know people, sometimes they tell me the schools their children are in and how much they are paying. I look at them and I wonder. And I know that they are not rich. I know they can't afford it. I know it's a struggle. So, real quick, anybody who wants to come in, or should I just end it here? It was a really beautiful session. I enjoyed talking with you guys. Now, don't take my words in marble. If you believe that you can invest everything you have in your children, or you are getting married to someone, you're putting all your eggs in that basket, it's a good thing. But just know that if something goes wrong along the line, you are not going to have a buffer zone. It's like, even in aviation, there's what you call, is it contingency fuel? For instance, if you are flying from Port Harcourt to Lagos, you must have enough fuel to land at the nearest airport should you get to Lagos and you can't land, or should you get to Lagos and there's bad weather or there's something and you need to go to the next airport. You should even have enough fuel to return back to your base. Of course, if you are flying to Lagos from London to Lagos, you might not have enough fuel to go back to London. But you should be able to go to Ilorin. You should be able to go to, I'm trying to think. I know all the air maps. Lagos, there's Benin, there's I even trying to remember all the legs. Benin, there's Okitipu. Okitipu is not an airport, but there's Ekiti. No, there's not Ekiti. Akure, yes, there's AK, that's Akure, DNAK. There's DNMM, that's Lagos. There's DNIL, Ilorin, and DNIB, if I'm correct. So when you are in Lagos and there's an issue, Ibadan is right ahead of you, Ilorin is somewhere here, AK, Akure is this way. They should have enough. You should, that's that buffer zone, that fuel that, okay, something is happening, we cannot land in Lagos, let's go. You should even be able to land in Cotonou. If you are going to DNMM, that is Lagos, you should be able to do DNAK, DNIB, or DNIL. I won't expect you to be able to do DNPO. That's Port Harcourt. No. But at least you should be able to do any of those airports. And that's how you should figure your life out. But Nigerians, they just load that fuel so that if they get there and there's something wrong, now crash straight up. Sean Pizzos, are you a flyer? Are you I say flyer, are you a pilot? So that you've got to leave allowance for that. It's only logical. It's only logical. In Nigeria, even your marriage, you're supposed to have some fear. Okay, if this marriage doesn't work, you don't pray that it doesn't work. You go in like you're gonna make it work, but still there has to be some reserve, a buffer zone. You have to leave what you call a hard shoulder. When you are driving on the highway abroad, there's a hard shoulder where you can pull up. Where your car is giving you issues, you just pull up on the hard shoulder. Some of your highways don't have hard shoulder. You have cleaned all the hard shoulder because all you are doing is facing one direction. What if it doesn't work? Oh, Sean Pizzo, you're a flight dispatcher. Nice. So, that's my take, guys. Someone said the British Airways, you should have enough fuel to make it to Accra. Yep. If there's any issue, you should have enough fuel. Some what if, God bless you, Noble. What if plan B? Yes, a lot of people say plan B is a plan to fail. Your plan A must work. Yes, I'm not even saying have a plan B. I'm just saying create a buffer zone, a contingency plan. Not that you, just in case that plan A falls, you have where to buffer. You have a hard shoulder. You can buy a Mercedes Benz, the latest Mercedes Benz, and you are driving on the highway and it breaks down. I know someone who bought 2020 range, and after 2 months, it developed water pump issues. I know 2 people. One of them, they losing the whole water pump, and for to get to the water pump, you have to remove the injector, you have to remove a few things to get to the water pump, and they loosened everything and kept it there. And driver came and tried to move the car so that he can remove another car. Did not know that they opened it and started it, and the whole engine caught fire. 2020 range. I know another one. So if a 2020 car can develop a problem, when you are buying the car, do you think when you are buying a 2020 car, the first thing in your mind is no mechanic for 5 years? But hey, something could happen. Imagine all my work was radio. I have plan B, plan C, plan D. Of course, each plan must work. Each plan is a plan A on its own. But that plan A is a plan B to the other plan should there be an issue. I think we've done as far as I can go today. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. I love you all. It was a really beautiful session. Your life, by the way, my life and what works for me might be different from what you plan for, or what works, or what you would like to work for you. It doesn't mean what I'm saying is nonsense, and it doesn't mean what you're saying is nonsense. But just learn a few things from me. I was made to pay 100% of my children's school fees when my relationship broke up. And at the time my relationship broke up, my ex was earning almost as much as I was. And why was it? Because I was paying the school fees 100%. Guys, don't pay school fees 100%, no matter how rich you are. Just in case something happens to you in the future. Nigerian legal system can be very straight and narrow. They don't bend much. So if the woman can prove that you could do it before, the judge will believe that you can still continue doing it. Don't do that. Hey, I'm the man of the house. No, a woman that will disrespect you when you are paying 100% will equally disrespect you when you are paying 30%. And a woman that will respect you when you don't have 5 naira will respect you when you have 5 billion. So don't do it for the respect. Do it. And when you're giving gifts to your wife, to your children, don't give what you can't lose. Don't give what you can't lose. Don't have only one house and then give that one house to your wife and then you break up. Where are you going to live? What if you don't want to break up? But your wife just meets this guy and the guy just toasts her and she just feels, say women, they tire for a relationship. And the guy just says, you know what? I love you, blah, 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 blah. And she sweeps her off her feet. And then the woman says, you know what? I'm not doing it again. Are you going to kill yourself? Are you going to kill her? You don't want a divorce. Are you going to keep holding on to a woman that wants to go? Then you will now become a stalker. But then guess what? You have written off your house to her. Where do you live? At that moment, she's in love with this new guy. She's moving on with this new guy. She doesn't care about you as far as she's concerned. You are her stalker. You are her police. So where are you going to live? Are you going to go back to your parents? My father will never even accept you back. But you have a house. You now went to give woman the house. You are now coming back to my house. So if you have just one house, don't give it to your woman as a gift. Don't work for 1 year and carry the whole money and use it to buy your woman one car because you want to impress your neighbors and show that your wife too can drive. No. If you give, you collect back. What if the person refuses to give back to you? You don't know that once you've given somebody something, it is now in their custody. How do you collect something back in their custody? What do you want to? You want to go and say, I ungive you. Is that how it works? The person will sue you any day they see you on that property. You'll be amazed. And same thing with women. Don't give everything. Now, when you're in a relationship, it makes sense to give your partner a share in your company. But I'll advise you, give them a share in your company, but put a caveat. Should we divorce, you must be required to pay me back, to give me back these shares, or to allow me to buy these shares off you. You must put that caveat there. Find your lawyer. Let them sit down with you. Yes, I want to give the owner, but should there be a breakup, you must sign that you are not going to have controlling shares. And you must be willing to relinquish the shares or sell them to me, depending on the case issue. Because you and somebody are broken up, and then the person has 30% of your company, and the person just decides that he wants to be a witch with a capital B, and says, you know what, okay, you want to take this decision simply because I just want to be a witch. I'm not going to allow you to take the decision because I have 30% of the shares of the company. Then you are stuck. It's not about trust. Relationship breakups can be so devastating that time when that woman or that man is angry, he can stall your life for 5 years and then realize later that, oh my God, what did I just do? But he has stalled your life for 5 years. I know a guy who, because his wife gave shares in his company, refused to sign a merger. For like 5 years, the wife's life was on hold. She couldn't move forward. She couldn't move backward. They had to play a corporate coup d'etat on him. I want to try to remember exactly what they did again. I think because she gave another member of her family shares, what they did was they diluted the shares and diluted his own. I've forgotten how they went about. I'm sure corporate lawyers would know. It was a big deal before they could bring in the investors. And they now what? Now, for instance, you bring in an investor, you have 100%. He has 30% of the 100%. Then he is refusing a merger. Then you now bring in the investor through one of the other shareholders. You merge with one and take a decision, and then the shares are what you had as 100. You now move it to 1 million. I've forgotten the exact process. And at the end of it, that's the way they were able to frustrate the guy out. But that took 5 years, and that was 5 years of the guy just stalling their business. And by the time they were even able to push the guy out, they couldn't get the deal they were able to get 5 years before. They got a deal, but it was like 15% of what they would have gotten. So think these things through. Should any of you file for a divorce, you must understand that you're going to relinquish your shares in the company, or you must relinquish at least the ability to make a decision. Okay, you're going to have 30%, you're going to have 30%, and you are not going to be able to make decisions. The moment we go into a divorce, for the interest of the company, you are not going to, I gave you the shares, you are not going to make a decision. You just have the shares. When we are sharing money, we will give you your 30%, not to worry. But you are not allowed to take corporate decisions. Those little things, you must include them. If you hear prenup, Esther, you're suggesting a prenup. Some people, when they hear prenup, he doesn't trust me, doesn't love me, I'm not doing it again. No, protect yourselves. Take care so much. Take care, everyone. Thank you so much for all this. God bless you all. I love you. And I look forward to having another session with you sometime tomorrow, hopefully. Take care.